The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk is a production of Paltalk. .com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. There's an awesome picture right now of nature's fury up in Nova Scotia, just one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen. We posted it there for you. And thanks to our friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. Well, we're syndicated coast to coast across the United States of America. We're in 12 million additional households. And I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. Welcome to the show. Annie Jacobsen is waiting in the wings to talk to us about the lessons not learned from 9/11. But just before we start, Boaz, we have, whenever we're talking about the Middle East, people who come in, they some support Israel, some are detractors of Israel, as you well know. I have a way for those who are detractors of Israel to fund terrorism, help fund terrorism against Israel.
Well, let me tell you that is there some sarcasm coming up here, or is this a trick question?
This is true. What people can help fund, and I'm telling you how it's being done. Maybe I'm going against my beliefs that Israel has a right to exist. But what they're doing is the ISJS, that's the Islamic Student Justice, out on the heads of the defense minister, Ehud Barak, who used to be prime minister, the head of the Mossad, and the chief of military intelligence in Israel. And guess how they're raising the money?
I couldn't even begin to guess.
They are raising the money by people to donate a kidney.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a kidney stone attack. Yes. They don't have money, so they're asking people to donate a kidney. I guess people will pay for kidneys. I don't know. In order to raise the money, I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried.
It sounds like it comes straight out of a comic book.
It's unbelievable. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. And the truth that Annie Jacobsen brings to us is stranger than fiction as well. Annie Jacobsen is a reporter who has extensive investigative reporting on terrorism and homeland security in the post-9/11. We're all foreign nationals, and they went to flight schools here in the United States, and they learned how to fly planes, but they didn't learn how to land or take off. Which, by the way, remember there was an FBI agent out there in the heartland of the United States who noticed this and sent a memo up the chain to the counterterrorism feds. Hey, you guys better take a look at this, and they basically shoved that aside because they didn't want to have to deal with somebody who didn't know anything about terrorism, just an agent out in the field. And maybe this thing could have been prevented. But they promised after 9/11, the American public, the world public, the flying public, that they have learned the lessons. And one of the things that they agreed to do, the federal government, it did, was to track foreign nationals who attend flight school in the United States. A simple, prudent thing to do. But have they done it? I had assumed that they had, because they said that they would. I mean, you're supposed to trust your government. Well, maybe you're not supposed to. According to Annie Jacobsen, they have not. Annie Jacobsen, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Well, it's my pleasure. What the hell, Annie? This is a simple thing to do. Track the people who are not citizens of the United States who are entering flight school. Why have they not
done it? Well,
they
haven't done it, but let's back a minute. What the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, is the agency in charge of this program. And the TSA was created after 9/11 for many things, among them tracking foreign flight students. Many people remember the appalling story that broke 6 months after 9/11 when the INS, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, notified a Venice, Florida flight school that 2 men named Mohammed Atta and Marwan al-Shehi had been approved to learn how to fly. Now, of course, those 2 names ring a bell. They were 2 of the pilots who flew planes into the World Trade Center 6 months earlier. And the story was so humiliating to the INS that it was a bit of the last straw in the camel's back, and the INS was disbanded. And the TSA took its place. Well, it seems that the TSA has taken its place in a number of ways. One of those is its failure to do its job, because we do now know, thanks to an original report by ABC just last week, that thousands of foreign flight students are flying in the United States, are taking flying lessons in the United States without being properly vetted by the TSA. Now,
what does that mean?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to say, what does that mean, not properly vetted? What should they be doing?
Well, there's a whole host of congressionally mandated requirements that the TSA must follow. And the proper vetting term means you want to make sure that a foreign student isn't in a number of places that they shouldn't be. For example, on the watch list, or that they aren't involved in criminal activity in the United States. That's the beginning of the list, and it goes on. But what I revealed in a recent article for PajamasMedia that is very disturbing is that the TSA is using this great giant maze of bureaucracy to its advantage. In other words, and you picked up exactly on the problem here, is vetted. What does is vetted mean? Are we working with the verb is from the Bill Clinton playbook? What does vetted mean? And this behind-the-scenes memo that I revealed shows that if there's any kind of confusion as to whether or not the student has been vetted, the TSA's position is, and this is in quotes, abstain from taking any action. In other words, look the other way. So you have a situation where